All right, we're here at F1 Boston with Mike Sullivan and friends, as finally getting a chance to interview you since you weren't at the Tewksbury event. Mike, how was the appearance here on the Michael Graham Show?
I was only here for a very short period of time. It was terrific. Obviously, people are trying to come together to see what we might be able to do, to help rebuild the Republican Party in Massachusetts and beyond. I'm excited about it.
Now, one of the things I noticed, I made my final decision at the first debate. I had already interviewed Mr. Gomez, great backstory. I had already interviewed the judge, who was enthusiastic for the Republican Party, which we need. But when it came to abortion and when it came to social issues, you were, I believe what I believe, and that's what it is. How important is that to just stand and say, this is where I am, I'm not going to bend for the sake of convenience?
No, I think that's critically important. People want to trust the person that they're going to give a vote to, and they trust people based on whether or not they're a person of principle and they have some core values. They may not agree with you on every single issue, but at the end of the day, they want to know that people have some core values and some principles. So I think it's important to the voters for them to know exactly where you stand on the issues. Obviously, for this race, the biggest issue that worries people is the economy. Where are we at and where are we going? We're in a terrible spot, and the United States Senate roadmap is terrible in terms of where we're going to be over the next several years.
Now, one of the things that constantly amazes me about the debate about spending is, here in 2012, we're spending a lot more than President Obama spent in 2009. Yet the 2009 spending levels would be considered draconian cuts. Is there any explanation that our Democratic friends can give for this?
Well, you have a government essentially that the more you feed, the hungrier they get. And that's the reason why you have to put caps in place. You essentially have to reduce discretionary spending, virtually across the board without adversely affecting mission. I've done it. I've had to do it. Heading up a federal law enforcement agency, heading up the United States Attorney's Office, where we essentially had to make some cuts to support the war effort, and it didn't adversely affect mission. I believe if you give leaders the goal of reducing the amount of money that they need to execute mission, they'll do it. That's what good leaders are supposed to do. Sadly, this United States Senate waited 4 years to pass a budget, and the budget was not worth the wait. And $1 trillion of more taxes, $1 trillion worth of more spending, we're on a path of no return unless we make some drastic changes in the short term in terms of getting on a path to balance the budget.
Now, again, this is Massachusetts. Republicans are 11% of the electorate. Democrats are 30%. So there's the vast, undeclared. But in reality, we're constantly electing Democrats as if there's no tomorrow. What is the pitch we have to give? And considering this location, what is the pitch that you would give to a Democratic voter or an undeclared voter saying, you want to vote for me as a Republican because?
Well, the fact of the matter is, Democrats unenrolled in Republican, they want to vote the person that they trust the most in terms of their ability to address the issues of most concern to them. They know that we're on a path that's going to cause tremendous harm to our national security. You cannot have these large budget deficits and this growing debt without affecting national security and everything that's important. Within 10 or 12 years, our whole all of our federal revenues are going to go to pay for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and the interest on the debt. Everything else that we treasure, energy, transportation, education, would have to be funded through borrowing money. And the public wants change.
And right now, of course, interest rates are dead low. What happens if interest rates go up at all? Then we're not bad. If we're in bad shape now, we're in worse shape later.
Well, that's the scary part. Right? The fact of the matter is we're borrowing money at rock bottom rates right now, and yet the United States Senate budget, they balanced the budget they claim over 20 years by having reduced interest rates. And we know that those interest rates can't go any lower, and at some point in time they're going to go up. But when that happens, we have fewer funds available for all the important programs that we know we need to invest in.
And if people want to find out more about your campaign, where can they go?
Mike Sullivan for Senate.com. We'd love to have people visit. It's just a growing enthusiasm at the grassroots level. We're excited about the campaign. April 30th is the primary election. We're going to ask people to vote for us on April 30th. And June 25th, we can win this election.
Mike Sullivan, thank you very much for your time. In full disclosure, I endorsed him a few days ago. And because I believe in spreading the wealth, where can we find your stuff that you're shooting today? Where online can we find it if we want to find it?
I don't know if we're posting stuff online, but there's a website.
Website is?
PatriotMajority.org.
PatriotMajority.org. Where can we find your stuff if people want to see all that you're filming today here?
Same thing. I don't know if it'll go up online necessarily, but
AmericanBridgePack.com. And obviously you're with the Democratic Party. Can we find it at mathsdeg.org?
Anything we post over there.
So that we're spreading the wealth, giving everybody a chance to give their own interpretation. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.